it's about thinking about what's actually going on with AI agents and the capital formation that's happening in front of our eyes. So Frank had this tweet like a few days ago where he said, Legendary, do you mind reading it out? Because I can't quite see it where I'm
Yeah,
looking.
absolutely. Frank was saying, let me try to zoom in a bit as well. People are basically launching startups on pump.fun. The trenches are the fastest form of market validation in the history of humanity. The market will tell you if there's demand instantly, not weeks, not months, not even minutes, in seconds. Internet capital markets.
So I like this idea. Well, I like this observation. I think it's an interesting observation in the sense that um, it's definitely not meme coins anymore. Like I think that can be quite fairly said. It's not only a meme that people want to wildly speculate on. Now it's moved to the point. It's like, well, we've got an idea. We've got like an idea. Would you be happy to uh, fund it, speculate on it, and maybe you can get a sense of the validity of the idea. Well, this is the position that they're taking. You can get a sense of the validity of the idea or the interest in the idea by the value of the token. If people are buying it, then you've got a good idea. If they're not buying it, you don't have a good idea. That's that one position. I saw an interesting tweet in response though, which was this, and I just want to see what you guys think about this. So the response from a user called Peach was this: people are not launching startups on pump.fun. They are selling the idea of a startup on pump.fun. The age-old problem with crypto is how easy it is to make more money by selling an idea than actually doing the thing. Brett, I saw you shaking your head as I was sharing the initial idea. I want to come straight to you for your take here. What is it? Is it the case that Pump.fun is launching new startups, or is it just like a kind of marketing scheme to raise capital without deserving to?
Okay, so my initial reaction was like, that's restarted. Like, it's stupid. Like, no. But then like thinking on it, I actually had a tweet on it relevant to that about a week ago. And I think this is kind of what he was ultimately getting at, where I said like people need, like, a lot of things start off in a very raw form and it's trying to be expressed through meme coins, right? It's like people launch stuff and they just like attach a narrative to it because, like, right, there's no inherent utility to these things whenever they're launched on Pump.fun. You attach a thought to them whenever you would give a name, give a logo, and like maybe the person that's launching it has a persona. You attach that to this coin, and the markets are trying to express something that they want through a lot of these pump funds and through a lot of meme coin narratives. So like I think one, like, my initial reaction was like, no, like, no one is doing deep dive into this stuff inside of pump fund and like actually doing a proper allocation of these things. Like, so yes, things run, but like, no, it's all just, it's not, it's an asymmetric market in the early trenches stages, right? Like, market's not efficient. So like that was like my, no, it's dumb. Like, don't just like buy anything that pumps. But then it was also like, okay, once things get to a certain level and there is like full on narratives formed around some of these things, AI agents, I wouldn't say like dogs and cat coins, but like you see a lot of these like trending things. It's like in this, I mentioned charity, social tokens, tokenized trends. It's like, it's certain things that are kind of like, as a group, like the market is showing an appetite for that thing, and it's improperly expressed through meme coins, because meme coins, again, aren't really associated, like, they're not a great vehicle for that. Using the charity thing, right? The mirror thing just popped off, like, oh, we want to donate to this person. Well, it's like, okay, this, like, there is an inherent value or desire to do a charity like purchase into this coin because they know Mira is something that'll both like benefit the person / it will also be in the headlines for a long time. But buying it from someone who has already launched the coin for someone else and took 50% of the supply, and then like it's just hanging out there, not attached to anything, or like kind of formally tied to them, like that's not the best way for that to be expressed. So it's like there's a market opportunity for someone to build like a specific thing that allows for you to do like that charity thing, but make it more conducive to the actual thing that they're trying to do, which is, again, charity. So like maybe make it so that, and again, mirror thing kind of got mired in a lot of drama and whether he's a scammer or not. So like you would have to find other ways for that, but like find a way to do a charity style launch or token allocation for someone to make sure that they actually get a portion of it. They're actually defended. They don't have to worry about being an LP on Radium or whatever. Like, they don't have to do any of that stuff. It does that for them on the back end, and they get the natural benefits of that. So like there's a product idea there, and it was expressed through the meme coins because that was like the quickest way it came to market with an idea, and the market showed it attached to it. But it's not the best form of that thing.
So I think what you're saying is, to the extent it feels like, well, meme coins are the fastest route to liquidity, basically if for anything that you're trying to do at the moment,
And to see
whether
what
it's a
minds latch
charity.
onto, right? To see, because like that's the hardest thing is like people don't understand things because stuff's so complex, whatever. But they're like, oh, charity, cancer, give this guy money, cool. I'm in, boom, bought it. Right? It's like, oh, the market has shown there's not a lot of logical gaps. It's quickly able to receive the idea of this charity token through the meme coins, but like make it better, right? There's a product idea there. Go iterate on it.
Yeah, and in every segment, maybe there's a bespoke product to be built. So if you want to do charity, you could do charity. If you want to group together with your friends and buy the constitution, create the platform which allows you to pull your funds in order to do that specific thing without needing to do it on a speculative asset. If you want to build decentralized science because you want to do testing on, I don't know,
Right.
flies and then rodents and
Right.
then
Like
humans.
some of those may have started on Pump Fun, right? Someone launched it on Pump Fun.
Yeah,
They saw that, like, oh
they
yeah,
did.
DeSci, and they're like, okay, well, let's create a DeSci platform. Boom, let's build this thing, make it a little more conducive to it. Let's,
Interesting. So your position is, you know, build the actual platforms for this stuff. Shouldn't necessarily need to be meme coins. Legendary, keen to hear your thoughts here. Um, is this like legit internet capital formation, or is it a lot of selling the idea of ideas?
A couple of thoughts on that. First of all, to what Brett has been saying, this is such an interesting thought that he had, because you can I find a couple of AI agents who are like, oh, this is a cool idea if someone would build that, and you can see them like fly to a couple mil, and then either there is someone really building there and the project stays kind of alive, or you will see the token at 10K 20K the day after. So basically, if you want to do something, you can collect a week's worth of ideas who were at a couple mil and ended up being a 5-figure token after that. And then you have like 20 ideas and you can actually figure out what you want to do with that, or if there's like a common denominator that would help bring some of those ideas to life. So that's actually a very fascinating thought. And in terms of Frank's original post, I don't necessarily agree, because G Money was also making a good point in the comments. G Money was saying, but then you want the dev to have more than 2% of the supply. Actually, you don't want to have someone, if someone has a startup, you want to invest in a founder, you want it to, for the founder to be its main business, to not be distracted by side hustles. And then you want your founder to have a bigger piece of the cake than 2%. And yes, admittedly, something can run to 100 mil pretty quickly, and the founder gets to sell, say, like half of his stake, he made $1 million, but then that is suddenly the equivalent of having raised $1 million in traditional markets. So the discrepancy becomes pretty big between that. And obviously the fundraising route, or like adopting a token, something that Project 89 did, and other AI projects did as well, worked out pretty well for some, but I don't think that this is basically a market for founders to necessarily fundraise for their ideas. It's more like an idea exploration market, product fit market, attention driven market, obviously, but not necessarily a new route for everyone to, well, raise capital for whatever their startup project is.